Hey, Tommy, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
So I'm thinking for this week's movie, maybe Rollerblade 7. I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit, and I watched the trailer again, and I think it could be a really good movie.
I think that sounds fantastic. I love the first six.
Oh, you silly guy. Let's bring that energy to the movie. How about, let's say Saturday, like 8 p.m.?
Yeah. Oh, now are we talking Eastern or Central?
Eastern. Yeah. 7 Central.
Okay.
Sound
Okay.
good?
Perfect.
All right.
Got it.
8 Eastern. Cool. All right, man. I'm so excited. I've been hearing all
Uh,
about this Zen filmmaking thing, and I think it's going to be a hoot.
it sounds pretty fantastic.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, I'll see you then, buddy. Have a good one.
All right. Sounds good. You too.
Matt?
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Movie Club 95. I'm your host, Matt, and today I'm joined by none other than Tommy.
Hey, what's going on?
Today on the Movie Club, we're going to be reviewing Rollerblade 7. Rollerblade 7 is a film produced by Donald G. Jackson, who from now on I'm going to call Dong Jackson, and he's best known for Baby Ghost, Roller Gator, or the movie that most people have probably heard of, Hell Comes to Frogtown. This movie stars Scott Shaw, Frank Stallone, Joe Estevez, and Will Smith. Will Smith? Oh, sorry. William Smith. So, what is Rollerblade 7? It's a movie that's made with a technique called Zen filmmaking. According to Zen filmmaking, there are no rules and no definitions. Um, I'm going to read the definition. It's the spontaneous creative energy of the filmmaker as the only defining factor. Sounds like a load of bullshit to me.
If there are no rules and no definitions, but here's the definition.
Right. Yeah. And even better is that, Tommy, do you know who created the definition for Zen filmmaking?
I would that be one Scott Shaw?
That is true. Scott
The,
Shaw and one
the
Dong Jackson. So now we in the movie club have watched a Scott Shaw movie before and loved it. We've watched Guns of El Chupacabra, which review coming sometime in the near future. One of the best movies, bad movies we've ever seen. It was amazing.
outstanding.
So we had some pretty high expectations coming into this movie, and let me tell you, oh, it did not meet those expectations.
Immediately dashed.
Immediately. The movie centers around pretty much four main characters. We've got Hawk, played by filmmaking auteur Scott Shaw, Father Donato, played by our man Dong Jackson, Pharaoh, I think played by Will Smith, and Pharaoh's sister Taro. So here's the plot in a nutshell.
Chopper, Saint Offender. The Pharaoh has exiled his sister Taro. I want you to go outside the wheel zone. Outside the wheel zone? Yes. I want you to bring back a new psychic, Sparrow.
Pharaoh exiled Taro. So Saint Offender, my favorite Metallica album, sends Chopper to get Taro and the psychic Sparrow to get revenge on Father Donato. You got all that?
It's a lot to process.
That's the plot that's unraveled in the first 20 seconds of this movie. So how we're introduced to Taro in this movie is this ridiculous KKK adjacent outfit. Oh no!
Oh
Oh
no!
no! And when you think that her outfit can't look any more stupid, it absolutely does. Okay, it
My
looks.
mind is clouded with evil. I'm having these terrible visions.
Please love it. Oh my god, it looks so stupid.
What should I do now, Father Donaldo?
Is that sister with two S's?
Go into the garden.
Taro is telling Father Donato that she senses great trouble in the Wheel Zone. And the Wheel Zone is essentially just an LA aqueduct that's run by a guy in a wheelchair. And you must be on rollerblades to be in the Wheel Zone. It is required by law.
And he also had like a weird mask. Like,
Yes.
it looked like the mask from Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah.
Except there was no magic in it.
Yes. I think it looks like Corey Taylor from Slipknot's mask. I'll put them up side by side.
There you go, yeah.
So Taro has this vision of what's going to happen in the Wheel Zone. And during her vision, you can hear Dong Jackson sitting across from her, reading her own lines right before she says them.
I see myself on a journey.
I see myself on a journey.
A journey that ends with death.
A journey that ends in my death.
A samurai.
A samurai.
Passive.
A passive.
A clown.
A clown.
In her vision, she also sees a plane crash.
A plane crash? In the Wheel Zone? Oh boy, that'll be the day.
And a naked bride covered in serpents, which, if you think these things will come back in the movie, it's Zen filmmaking, so no. She gets kidnapped by a ninja leaving the Griffith Observatory. Oh, sorry. The House of Light. And Father Donato calls the best man for the job, Hawk. And Hawk is played by our director, Scott Shaw. So Tommy, what is director Scott Shaw doing when we first are introduced to him?
He is just chilling in a hot tub with two women, all fully clothed.
That's right, because Scott Shaw is no weird pervert. He respects women and respects himself.
That's right.
What's up, everybody? I'm Scott Shaw. I love motorcycles, being fully clothed in a hot tub, and most of all, samurai swords.
Just imagine him at like a hotel, like walking straight to the hot tub, like, sir, your clothes are still on. He's like, I know. Like, don't worry. I do this all the time.
This is how I always get in the hot tub.
Right?
In my Armani suit.
Just drips all down the hallway back to his hotel room.
Hawk, after, I forget even what he says, like, I've got business to do, or something really gross. I've got two businesses to do, if you know what I mean.
Wink.
After he's done with that, he goes to Father Donato's blanket fort to ask him why he called, and Father Donato says that this is where I'm a little unclear on the plot here. Pharaoh's sister, Taro, who is also Hawk's sister, who became Donato's sister.
You mean my sister that became your sister?
Yes, our sister. You must go now to rescue her.
Hawk wants to know, if he does this, what's in it for him? What would his payment be? And Donato, do you remember what happens here, Tommy?
Doesn't he, like, offer him women or something? Was that?
Damn right. He says, I'll give you a new bride.
Well, this time your reward shall be a new bride.
Which, ugh. even in like the Mad Max style apocalypse, women as currency.
Right, that's still...
Yeah, not okay.
The bride. I've not had one of those for a year or more.
What happened to your old one?
Yeah.
I guess I just don't understand the Wheel Zone. So Hawk gets ambushed by 3 of the Rollerblade 7 and easily takes them out. It's so much easier to wield a samurai sword when you aren't wearing roller skates and all your opponents are. He then finds the rest of the Rollerblade 4 who are walking with the captured Taro, and we get an amazing taste of Zen editing, which means you edit with no rules or definitions, because we see the exact same fucking scenes repeated over and over, over and over, over and over, one right after the other. After what feels like hours, Hawk perfectly flips the knife into Taro's mouth like a goddamn dart champion. And she turns around and tickles one of the Rollerblade 4 in the neck. Even though they're fighting in the middle of the desert, somehow Ballsack, the Jaws of Death from Guar, manages to sneak up on Hawk and bonk him in the head when he's not looking.
Right. Just knocks him out.
Hawk starts hallucinating. Or maybe hallucinating. I'm not actually really sure. He gets knocked unconscious, and in his brain, he visits Sparrow, who's the psychic that he was supposed to find at the beginning. And Sparrow keeps hand feeding him raw mushrooms, which is incredibly unsettling and something that I did not need to watch 6 times. They're just normal white cap mushrooms that you buy at the grocery store, but they cause him to hallucinate. While he's under this weird spell of mushrooms and death, he starts trying to say deep, profound lines while hallucinating, but they're lines that I would expect to see in a book titled something like Dum Dum Baby's First Book of Poetry.
I sleep. I dream. I go to a place very far away. But I find nothing I can bring back with me.
Here's what's also confusing is that the psychic is supposedly played by Karen Black, as we see in the mid-movie credits that Scott Shaw loves so much. But IMDb, Karen Black plays Taro, who's the Blue Klux Klan girl. And I don't think these two look anything alike.
I wonder if this movie is so bad that they actually flipped the names of the characters by mistake. Like, that's what I'm thinking happened.
Oh, God. So while Hawk is suffering from fungi poisoning, Taro gets murdered and transported to a tiny room with Frank Stallone. And I think this is actually the best part of visual storytelling. Because if you were in a small room with Frank Stallone, that's hell. It's at this point where the movie really started to go from bad to worse. We're introduced to an apocalyptic juggalo and the absolute worst character in this movie, Banjo Guy. All he does is rollerblade around and play the goddamn banjo. And it's the same notes because it's Zen filmmaking, so it's just a line of something and then repeated, 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 repeated.
I feel like it was like Mad Max Fury Road, the guy with the guitar, except if he was just god awful.
So they run into the girl from the beginning of the movie who has no name and no purpose. The only reason we've seen her is because Father Donato gave her a samurai sword in the middle of the desert. We meet Cow/Camel Man now, another character introduced into this cinematic universe. He immediately goes to hell, which, fine by me. And he gives Frank Stallone a Hitler salute. And that's pretty much this movie in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The glory from the power of the darkness.
On the dark side, you can see nothing. The only true power is the power of vision.
Mortal fool, you could rule the will zone.
I prefer only to rule my own heart.
I fucking hate Zen filmmaking. I take that back. I kind of like Zen filmmaking now. Hawk meets up with the Juggalo, and we get to watch him fall down a bunch more, which is an absolute treat. His rollerblades magically disappear, and then he does this weird circle jerk with the Juggalo where he's just slapping her in the neck with his katana. Bunch more people on rollerblades show up, and do you hear that? No. Not the Banjo Man. No. You'd think in a movie called Rollerblade 7 that the director wouldn't draw focus to the one guy who's not wearing rollerblades in the huge fight. And also, isn't that the guy that Taro stabbed in the throat with the knife? We get our first look at Corey Taylor from Slipknot. And this guy is Pharaoh, our main bad guy. And why is he so bad?
You must never put your feet on a skateboard. You must never use a wheel.
Well, because skateboarding put him in a wheelchair. So he's anti-wheels, but he's in the wheel zone, and he's in a wheelchair. And he's the mayor of Wheel Zone. The American Gladiator girl runs into some ninjas, but she can't fight them because she can't figure out how to unholster her katana.
Oh my god.
Just that sentence.
Yeah.
But here comes Hawk to the rescue. She joins the group of Hawk and the Juggalo. When they finally all get together, we get my favorite song, the A song. Ballsack comes back, and it seems like this is probably going to be a huge fight. Oh, wow, that didn't take any effort at all to bring him down. That was just a Scott Shaw kick to the head. They're celebrating their victory over Ballsack when guess who has to fucking work his way back into this group? Banjo Man. Thankfully, though, a ninja comes along and slits his throat. No more Banjo Man.
I hate banjos.
He also throat punches the Juggalo, which is kind of funny because he's got the katana out and he's already killed one, but then the other one he just... I also don't know how they didn't see the guy coming. They're in an empty aqueduct. Like you could see for miles down that thing.
And he just somehow managed to sneak up on him.
Yeah, do you think they were like looking? They're like, oh, there's a really tiny guy running at us. That'll be no threat.
Oh, it's okay. He's tiny. He won't be here for a year.
Hawk finally finds his sister dead, which I didn't even realize he hadn't found her dead yet. It's been a really long time since Scott went on his vision quest, and I guess he woke up from it, but he didn't wake up on the beach because they murdered Taro like 5 feet away from where he was knocked out. So he surely would have seen her by now. On their way back on the road, they meet a spirit guide who makes their rollerblades disappear and then vanishes. And this is by far the stupidest thing in this movie because rollerblades are just shoes. They're not feet.
And that's saying something for calling that the stupidest thing in a movie filled with so many stupid things.
They find Pharaoh, but it's a trap. Cow Camel Man surprises them with an Uzi. And dang, I thought the padded baseball bats the Juggalo had were OP, but this guy just straight up brought an Uzi to a knife fight. They don't actually show us how, but I guess Kabuki escapes. And that was very confusing at first until they actually showed who it was. That's the clown. They call her the clown through the entire movie, but now all of a sudden it's Kabuki because I guess that's provocative. I think that Scott Shaw went to Japan once, and then he's like, I know exactly what type of movie I need to make. There needs to be samurais, there needs to be kabuki, there needs to be Temple of Light.
And a banjo.
Yeah, Japan, famous for their banjos. So the clown gets hunted down by a guy with 2 axes. He is swinging those axes like a madman. He takes her down, beats her to death. I'm laughing only because I'm so glad that she died. Because I hate this movie. Turns out Red Girl and Hawk were captured and thrown in prison by Pharaoh.
Wasn't she in the cell with Hawk still
Yes.
at this point? Like,
Yes.
So he's just like sitting in the corner like, well, I guess I'm next.
Yeah, he's just watching. He's like, oh, rough day. They put her in a wedding dress and drop a bunch of snakes on her, just like Taro said would happen.
Ooh.
They did that because Pharaoh wants to marry her. And he only wants to marry her so that he can be skateboard king and she can be rollerblade queen.
The skateboard king. And the rollerblade queen.
As the prophecy foretold.
You are now on trial before the United States of America.
You want to talk about this one? You want to touch on this one, Tommy?
I just love that so much. Like,
I feel like that was Scott Shaw's first idea. He thought of the phrase United Skates of America while watching somebody rollerblade, and he's like, I can make a movie out of this.
I got here. Now I need to circle back to the rest of this movie.
Yeah.
That I'm going to start making now.
Yeah, I need to write dialogue. Wait a minute. I can come up with something where I don't need to write dialogue.
I'll just play music the whole time. And a banjo.
Hey, Dong, you play the banjo, right? Yeah, Scott, but I only know like 8 notes. 8 notes? That's 8 more than I know, Dong.
Perfect.
Hell yeah. Bust that bad boy out, baby.
6 notes too many.
Yeah.
Lose a few.
They're both in jail now, and how are they going to get out of this pickle? I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't know. I have no idea what happens here.
So at last, I meet the dark force that dominates the wheel zone. I don't think so. Feel the power of the light.
Maybe the door was just open the whole time and the
That's
bad
my
guys
theory.
were in the way of the door.
Yeah.
And then when the light
Right.
knocked all the bad guys into the corner, they're just like, oh, hey, was this open the whole time?
Yeah, was that door there this whole time? I thought this was one of those
What?
doorless cells.
Yeah, we've been sitting here like idiots.
Father Donato keeps his promise to Hawk, and he gives him a new bride. He officiates the wedding between Hawk and our American Gladiator. It's at this point we finally find out both of their full names. Hawk Goodman and Ella Speed.
Hawk Goodman and Ella Speed.
As their wedding present, Father Donato gives them a
Samurai
samurai sword, which is a pretty hilarious wedding gift because it's not like they're hard to come by or anything in the wheel zone. They ride off into the sunset on his motorcycle, and that's how the movie ends. Or is it? Oh no, because Oh, what's that? It's Joe Estevez and Stella Speed? But she is in dress on motorcycle. What? 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 They pull up next to each other, and I don't even know how to refer to them. Stella Speed 1 shoots Mrs. Hawk, or Mrs. Goodman, with her Han Solo pistol. And then Hawk runs after them with his katana, and Stella Goodman's body disappears. End of movie. Okay, Tommy, so what would you give this movie?
If I think long and hard, I think I would have to give it half a Joe Estevez, because I don't even know what he was doing. And I feel like we didn't even get the full Joe Estevez potential in it.
So half a Joe Estevez. Okay.
That's what would you give it?
I would give this movie an absolute 0. Like, I'm not even going to do any conversions or anything. This is just an absolute 0, no matter how you look at it. This was the least fun I've ever had watching a bad movie.
It, like, we got through the first, like, half hour, 40 minutes, and we're like, okay, it's not great.
The banjo.
And then the rest of it, the banjo,
Fucking
and
banjo.
I just stood there, like, I was getting angry watching it.
It is the visual, like, a visual equivalent of being waterboarded, essentially.
I feel like I have been waterboarded after watching it. Congress won't ban waterboarding, but they will ban Rollerblade 7 coming soon.
Coincidence? You know what I'm talking about? The girl in the pink thonkini thing?
Yeah.
Did you know that she is the producer of The Amazing Race?
No.
Yeah.
Mark Burnett?
Yep, that's him.
Wow. He's got range.
Yeah.
He really disappeared into that role.